All right, let's get down to business. You clicked on this video for one reason and one reason only. You don't know if you should summon for Mydei or not. Trivia's banner is about to leave. Hopefully you have a copy. If not, don't fret. It's not the end of the world. It might be, actually. It could be the very end of the world. You know, every character going forward could really want Tribi, and that's just how it is. But you're not worried about that. You're worried about the new 5-star destruction character, Mydei, and if you should summon for him. And I'm going to be the guy to help you out with that. Hopefully, if you end this video not knowing if you should summon or not, that would be unfortunate. So I'm gonna do the best of my ability to help you out with that. So obviously we have to go over Mydei's kit. I'll talk about what characters you probably want to pair with him. That way you get a better idea of, oh, I have these characters, so if I went and got Mydei, then I would actually be able to use them. Because one thing that people seem to forget about is they pull a new character and then they look up what the best characters are for them and they realize they have absolutely none of them. And if you do that with a DPS, good lord, you might as well just not even have the DPS, right? So let's get into what the character does before anything, because that's kind of the most important thing. You know, a character can look cool and dandy, but if what they do is whatever or you don't like it, then that kind of kills the character, right? So Mydei is a 5-star destruction character. Yep, no remembrance. We've, you know, one and done. One and done. One and done. There'll be more remembrance characters, but anyway, Mydei scales off of HP, so his basic attack goes off of 50% of his max HP. Big W, right? Most characters really scale off of attack, so you have to keep in mind when building relics for Mydei that he wants HP instead of attack, right? Rest in peace, the people who pre-farmed and got attack, because he doesn't use that. Anyway, his skill consumes HP by an amount equal to 50% of his current HP, deals imaginary damage equal to 90% of his max HP to one designated enemy, and 50% imaginary damage to his max HP to adjacent targets. If the current HP is not sufficient, you will have 1 HP. No shocker there, that's kind of how every character with draining HP works. Then we have his ultimate. Restores HP by 20% of Mydei's max HP and accumulates 20 talent charge points. Deals imaginary damage equal to 160 of Mydei's max HP to one designated enemy, and deals imaginary damage equal to 100% of Mydei's max HP to adjacent targets. Additionally, taunts the target and targets adjacent to it, lasts for 2 turns. Next use of Godslayer Be God prioritizes attacking one designated enemy, and this effect only works on the latest target. Then we have to look at his enhanced stuff, right? TLDR, he has an enhanced state. We'll get to that at the very end. Kingslayer Be King consumes HP by an amount equal to 35% of his current HP, deals imaginary damage equal to 110 of his max HP to 1 and 66 to adjacent targets. Yada yada. Current HP not significant, you will be at 1. The ability will be automatically used. Now we'll get into that as well when we get to the talent. So technique, after using technique, pulls an enemy to a certain area and inflicts daze on them for 10 seconds. If actively attacking daze enemies when entering battle, deals magic damage equal to 80% of Mydei's max HP to all enemies and taunts the targets lasting for 1 turn. Then you get 50 charge. His big enhanced skill consumes 150 of charge, deals magic damage equal to 280% of Mydei's max HP to one enemy, and magic damage equal to 168 of Mydei's max HP to additional targets. And then the ability will be automatically used. When the ability is used, charge cannot be accumulated. Now for his talent, right? All of this was probably a little confusing, right? Probably could have went over in a bit easier way. So when you have your talent, which we're about to go over, when it charges, you go from having this basic attack and this skill to having this skill. You have your ultimate forever, right? Your ultimate's always the same. You'll have this skill, and then when you get enough charge, you will have this skill instead, right? So for each 1% of HP loss, accumulates 1 point of charge up to 200. When charge reaches 100, consumes 100 points to enter the Vendetta state. Restores HP equal to 25% of his max HP and advances action by 100%. While the Vendetta state is active, max HP increases by 50% of the current max HP and defense remains at 0. At the start of the unit's turn, automatically uses Kingslayer Be King. When charge reaches 150 in the Vendetta state, Mydei immediately gains 1 extra turn and automatically uses Godslayer Be God. When receiving a killing blow during the Vendetta state, Mydei will not be knocked down, but will clear his charge, exits the Vendetta state, and restores HP by 50% of his max HP. So, pretty much how you're going to play this unit is, you know, skill, whatever, ultimate. The second you enter the Vendetta state, he's using this move. or when his charge is at max, he's using this move. You will not be able to control Mydei. Unfortunately, it's very weird. He's pretty much a permanent auto unit. And the only real way to use him is just to click his ult, right? You can use it when he's low, or you want to get more charge because it heals him a little bit and gives him charge. So you pretty much would be like, okay, Mydei is about to die. Let me pop this so he doesn't exit the state, or he's close to getting his Godslayer be God. Let me pop the ult, and that's Mydei. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Then we go to his bonus traces. When battle starts, if Mydei's max HP exceeds 4,000, for every 100 access HP, his career increases by 1.2, his charge ratio from the enemy target's damage increases by 2.5, and his incoming healing increases by 0.75%. Up to 4,000 access HP can be taken into account for this effect. So you need 8k HP. Pretty easy because most of the stuff will be HP percent that you're going for. Then, during the Vendetta state, Mydei will not exit the Vendetta state when receiving a killing blow. This effect can trigger up to 3 times. Pretty much just makes it even easier to always be in his juiced up state. Then his last one is while in the Vendetta state, Mydei is immune to CC. Pretty much just an unstoppable force of nature in your back pocket, always on auto. So auto warriors will be rejoicing. Then his stat bonus are 37.3 crit damage, 18% HP, and 5 speed. This is nice because it lets him have a total of 100 speed, meaning you just have to find a way to get 34 more. It's not too terrible. He scales off HP, so the HP is good, and the crit damage is nice, so you can just get a crit rate body and kind of call it a day. Obviously, you still need rolls, but having a crit rate body is pretty nice. Now, I never say go for Eidolons. However, if you are a huge fan of Mydei, you probably want to get Eidolon. So let's go over them, and I'll give you my opinion on which one is the best. Most of the time, it's E1, thankfully. But let's go over it regardless. So E1 increases the damage multiplied dealt by God's Every God to the primary target by 30%. The ability now deals all damage to all enemies equal to the damage multiplier dealt to the primary target. Pretty much just making his God's Every God a full AoE, right? Because this one is Blast, this one is Blast, and his ultimate is Blast. In fact, all of them are Blast, but the basic attack. So, unfortunately, if there are more than 3 enemies, he cannot hit all of them. Wah wah. E2, during the Vendetta state, damage dealt by Mydei ignores 50% of the enemy target's defense. After he receives healing, converts 40% of the healed amount to charge. The tally of the converted charge cannot exceed 40 points. Resets the tally of charge after any unit takes action. This will pretty much turn him into a Godslayer be God machine when you have healing, especially if you have someone like Luocha or Gallagher who is healing as you hit or just constantly healing. That'll be pretty nice for him. He'll just be launching his souped up skill over and over and over, and also ignore the enemy's defense, so more damage. E3 and 5 are just like skill, ultimate, all that stuff. E4, while in Vendetta, increases crit damage by 30% and restores HP by 10% of the unit's max HP after receiving attacks from enemy targets. So obviously you'll have E2, so when you get hit, you're also healing yourself, so that's even more charge added on more charge, so you're getting hit and healing. Then E6, when entering battle, immediately enters Vendetta state and lowers the charge required for God's Every God to 100 points. E6 literally turns him into a character that pretty much can never actually be played. You're just clicking the ultimate, which is kind of funny to think about. I don't know if they'll do this going forward. Overall, though, E1 is going to be... Probably E2 is the really good one, actually, just because it helps him get his big attack even faster. But E1 is nothing to slouch at either. Overall, you can still run this character just fine at E0. You don't need him to have dupes. In fact, you also don't need his light cone. However, his light cone is going to be the best one for him. But if you have Blade's light cone or the free Rappo light cone, it's from the like Guitar Hero-esque event, you can just use those ones instead. Obviously, though, his light cone is going to be the best, but he does have some free-to-play options. Unfortunately, if you don't have Blade's light cone or Rappa's light cones, his light cone options are pretty rough. I'm not going to lie. You could use someone like Don Hang's light cone, I guess. So if you have any of those, that could help you out, right? Otherwise, you probably would want to pull for his light cone. That's kind of the deal with DPSs. Now, in terms of what teams you would actually use, since Mydei doesn't use traditional attack up and whatnot, you would probably want characters such as like Tribby. Wow, shocker, Tribby like just came out. Who would have thought? Wow, Tribby. Tribby of all characters, Tribby leaving in 5 days, 6 hours, crazy. But yeah, you would most likely just want Tribby. Uh, it's just crazy how that is. You know, they did a similar thing with Fei Zhao winning Robin and whatnot, but you want to just avoid characters who are buffing like attack, like Ting Yun. Ting Yun really wouldn't be doing too much for the guy because he can scale up attack, right? Now, if we ever get a character that's a support that is like HP buffing, that would be kind of crazy. Blade's been asking to that for how long now and hasn't gotten it, but I mean, hey, you know, it is what it is. But other than Tribby, you could run him with, you know, you could probably run him with Robin still and just have fine results. You can probably run him through on Mei and have fine results, right? Shout out to the best supports in the game. In terms of healers, Luocha, Gallagher would be cool. Really just the main ones, honestly. But you do want a healer just so if he gets low on HP, you can make sure he does not exit the Vendetta state. That would be unfortunate. You do get 3 get out of jail free cards with him because he does like auto revive, which is pretty cool. I might as well just put him on the screen, right? And in terms of other characters, it really depends on if you just want a second DPS. I think Blade would be a funny addition to have on the team with her like HP drain. I don't think it would work just because we only have 4 slots, but in the future, if we ever had an HP draining like support, right, I think it'd be pretty funny to run Mydei and Blade with them, and then obviously the other one would probably be someone like the Witcher who can actually like, heal them, right? Just because all of the HP fluctuating stuff. But unfortunately, we don't have that at the moment. So you're probably just going to run 2 supports of your choosing and then a really good healer. You could probably run a Venturine with him if your Venturine has a lot of shields. But otherwise, if you did not, you probably would want to avoid that. Stick to characters like Linksha, Luocha, and Gallagher. Ho-Ho could also work as well. The only issue with her is you are giving energy, the attack buff is useless, and then she just heals with her skill, right? There's no emergency heals or healing when you do damage, so keep that in mind. If you only have full hold, that's the situation I have for myself, so I'll probably just use Gallagher. Luckily, Gallagher is a 4-star. You know, don't see much of those nowadays, but he does work well. Now, at the end of the day, Mydei is a DPS, and considering Anniversary is literally the next banner, he might be a bit tough to advocate pulling for, mostly because he is a full auto play style, which some people might not like. I don't mind too much, but it is interesting how you don't get to really use your character yourself. I mean, you're still using him, right? But he just attacks into the wind and calls it a day. You're just clicking the alt button, right? Which is kind of like how auto goes sometimes, right? Regardless, though, he is a DPS at the end of the day. So if you already have some good DPSs, he is an easy skip. If you don't have good DPSs, it's up to you to be like, oh, do I want Mydei? Or you can wait until Anaxa and Castoris are officially shown in the live stream, which will be shown before Mydei's ban is leaving. And if, you know, Castoris and Anaxa are 2 DPSs, you can pick one of them. Otherwise, it's pretty much just summon if you have the currency and don't want to summon for the next few banners, which would be Castoris and Anaxa. Other than that, that's pretty much up to you guys if you want to summon or not. I would highly recommend skipping though, unfortunately. He is a very cool character, but we still also have the Fate collab coming up, and we have no idea if we have to actually summon for the characters or we're just getting them for free. So you might want to have a bit of currency saved up. Luckily, since it is Anniversary, we will have the 2x pack reset happening. So if you are a spender, you can kind of get away with summoning and then buying the packs. But if you are free to play, maybe chill, you know. If you want Castoris or Mydei or Anaxa, pick one and then wait just so when Fate drops, you have a bit of currency. We don't know if Fate's going to be after Anniversary or a few patches after, but it is coming up soon. If you don't care about Fate, then I guess it really doesn't matter. Go for whoever you want. Other than that, that'll be it for the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of Mydei. Are you summoning? Are you skipping? And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.